Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a mobile phone with you, now's probably a good time to turn it off or switch it to silent. We'll be getting underway shortly. Thank you.
Ooh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Lachlan Botel, and it gives me great pleasure to be leading this memorial service with the family in the celebration of the life of Alan George Lockley, or better known as Big Al. Someone once said, grief never ends, it changes. It's a passageway of life, it's not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness or lack of faith in oneself. Grief, quite simply, is the price we pay for love. On behalf of Al's family, I'd like to welcome you all here today to join them in the celebration of a life of a wonderful man, a larger-than-life character, a larger-than-life figure in all your lives. It is our hope that every part of this service will honour a life lived amongst us all. I'm sure you'd like to join me in wishing the family all the best wishes at this very, very difficult time. The journey of grief is long, and those that walk it should not have to walk it alone, and you are not alone. We're here to support you here today in your time of need. To all those here today, your presence helps the family realise how valuable their loved one was to others and shows what an impact Big Al's life and his passing has had on your lives as well. Today, we honour a man that touched so many lives. We'll pause to hear stories of his life, to laugh and to maybe shed a tear together once again. But we'll acknowledge the impact he has had on all our lives. I had the honour to meet with Nina and Brandon the other day to find out a little bit more about him, and what a fascinating man he is. How could you not have a spirited conversation with Nina and Brandon, let alone about Big Al? Alan George Lockley was born on the 9th of August 1941 to George and Jessie Lockley here in Goulburn, the younger brother to Robert, and passed peacefully on the 19th of June in Newcastle. He was 81. He was a loving husband to Tess, father to Nina and Alana, father-in-law to Ian, David, Stuart, grandfather to Nathan, Damien, Brandon, Grant, Kyle and Amber, and great-grandfather to Dustin, Brock and Finn, and had more mates than anyone should have had. He knew everyone, and everyone knew Big Al. You couldn't go near the Wallara Bay Club without knowing Big Al. His family meant everything to him, and one day in 1964, whilst working as an auto electrician just down the road here in Goulburn, he met a young lady working in the office at the dealership he was working at. Well, for Al, it was love at first sight. He met his Tasula, and that was the same for her when she met Big Al. Now, Tasula was betrothed to another at the time, as was the culture back in the day with her Greek heritage. But she wasn't a fan of the man. So she chose Big Al. They eloped to Tasmania under assumed names, George and Margaret Bennett, and got married in the marriage registry in Tasmania. They had 2 weddings, the first one in Tasmania at the registry office, and the second one here in Goulburn. He was devoted to his Tess from the first day they met in 1964, and a love affair that lasted 35 years until he sadly lost Tess in 1999. But his love for her has never, ever wavered. Even up to his last breath, he always said how he missed his Tess. I'd now like to ask Alana to come forward and read a special poem. Thank you.
This is a poem for our dad. You've always been my hero, Dad, a guiding light, a steady hand. Through thick and thin, you've always had a love that's strong throughout the land. You've taught me courage, strength and grace, and showed me how to stand up tall. In every challenge, every race, you've helped me conquer, stand up all. So thank you, Dad, for all you do, for all the love you freely give. My heart is yours forever true, for all the lessons you help me live. Love you, Dad.
Now I'd like to ask Brandon to come up and say a few words. This should be interesting.
Good afternoon. For those who don't know me, my name's Brandon McCurley. I'm one of Alan's grandchildren. We might know him as different things, whether it's Alan, Big Al, but I know him as Grandad. Thank you. Much better. Now, as we all know here, Grandad was a very big character. He'd walk into a room and essentially he'd own it. You'd know that he was there. Very much a larrikin, very funny guy. Always loved a laugh, loved good banter. So he loved his wife Tess very, very much. Thank you, Lockley. That was a beautiful tribute to that. And he always loved his family. Loved a beer, loved the pub. Massive fan of seafood, Cypriot food, and he had a love for halloumi as well. He was a hoot to be around, and I'll always cherish those memories of Grandad forever. I do just have a couple of stories to share from childhood with being around Grandad. When I was quite young, we'd stay at Grandad and Nanny's house. So I was probably 4 or 5 at the time. Grandad would make us his famous homemade pancakes, and he was very, very artistic in his pancake form. One day he said to me, "What pancakes do you want?" And I said, "I want a dog." So he did a dog. Could even tell it was a male dog. It was absolutely stunning. So another thing he'd do when I was a kid was he'd tell me to tell people that when I grow up I want to be a Chippendale dancer. So as a kid I would tell people that I want to be a Chippendale dancer, even though I didn't know what that was. Another good one was he'd tell us that for work he was a banana bender. So it was probably only a few weeks ago I realised that bananas are naturally curved. Always thought that Grandad did that. And then leaning into my sort of adulthood and being a little bit older, my first proper job over 10 years ago, I was at work one day and making small chat with a customer. They were telling me how they always go to Wallara Bay. It's their local club. They've been going there for many, many years. Now, I lived about half an hour away from there, and I wouldn't say we were near the club or anything, but this customer was telling me that he misses the smart-ass doorman who worked there, and I said, if you ever see him, just tell Grandad I said g'day. So. But that's what Grandad was like. He'd leave a mark, he'd leave an impression on people. Absolute social butterfly. And he was always so proud of his family. Like, I didn't even have to do anything, and he'd call me and say, hey, I'm so proud of you. And a few times I asked him why, and he'd just say yes. So I happily rolled with that. But if Grandad was here, I think he'd, not want us to be too sad. He'd want us to smile when we think of him, to share a joke, have a beer, keep his memory alive, and remember the good times. So thanks for joining today and celebrating all things Grandad.
Thank you, Lachlan, Lana and Brando. Well, I'm never stuck for words, so this is really, really hard. Firstly, we've got some apologies. My son Nathan, Alicia and Finn unfortunately came quite ill this morning. They're in Newcastle. I would like to give big thank you. When we get to the wake today, you'll see Nathan did Grandad's very special slideshow. Also, my son Damien, Naomi, Dustin and Brock up in Darwin. They're all watching us on live stream, by the way, so hey guys. Sadly, my niece too, Amber, she is missing as well. She's in a big trip to Greece. She's also watching, so everybody's watching live. We got some apologies from Wollongong as well. That is Kiriana and Jan. Jan Crowhurst, thank you for your lovely messages for Dad every month. And obviously from the Central Coast, we're missing Leo and Anne, and Kay and Wendy and Robin. Thank you so much for your condolences. Also, we'd like to give a big thank you to a few places, Alana and I. Wyong Hospital, firstly, for 4.5 months of the most incredible care of Dad, sorting him out and getting his health in order, and then moving him to what we believe to be one of the best places in the whole world, Regis Aged Care at Ellamore Vale, where the staff there were 100% kind and caring to Dad, and so beautiful. When we'd pick him up and take him out for lunch, it was fist punches, it was I love you, Alan, see you soon. So they were fabulous. So we want to really, really thank the nursing home. Also to the Mater Hospital, the care of Dad for his end of life was also 1,000%. So we do thank all of those places. In general, thanks to all the people that have supported Dad and been around for us at this very difficult time. We thank you. Just so you know, Dad didn't know that he was on his deathbed, and we did not tell him. He was funny up until the very end. Alana spent all Wednesday with him, and Stewie and I turned up, and Stewie said, I'm just going to get a Fanta. So he goes to me, where's Stewie? I said, he's just getting a Fanta, Dad. So Stewie comes in and goes, hey, Stewie, what pub we going to tonight? And we're like, we're not going to the pub, Dad. And then he goes to Lana, can you get pizza? Lana goes, oh, I don't think so. Then Dad goes, Stewie wants pizza too. Anyway, for all of you that knew him, my nickname to him was Poppy-O. So I was sitting on the bed going, Poppy-O, Poppy-O. And he was imitating me, Poppy-O, Poppy-O, Poppy-O. Anyway, Dad, we love you so much. Your personality, your happiness, making us laugh to the very end. Thank you for being the most fabulous father. In millions and millions of fathers, we would pick you any time. And you were the kindest man ever to Mum and all the children. We're going to miss you forever. Really sad. I don't know how we're going to go on, but we love you. And as always, Big Al, Lan.
Well done, ladies. And since this is a celebration, how about a round of applause for our 3 speakers? In a moment, I'll be asking the family to come forward and place a tribute on Al's coffin as a final sign of love and respect. If there's anyone else that has any further tributes I'd like to place on, please feel free to do so at that time.
Early morning, there's a message on my phone. It's my mother saying, darling, please come home. I fear the worst, but how could you leave us all behind? There's so much to say, but there's so little time. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye when I couldn't? You always saw the best in me. Right or wrong, you're always on my side. But I'm scared
life without you's like. And I saw the way she looked into your eyes. And I promise if you go, I will make sure she's alright. So how do I say goodbye? Someone who's been with me for my whole damn life. You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. See your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? And there's no way you could ever let me down. Gonna steal some time and start again. You'll always be my closest friend. And someday we're gonna make it out. Just hold the light. Just hold the light high, high. So how do I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? You gave me my name and the color of your eyes. I see your face when I look at mine. So how do I say goodbye? So how do I say goodbye?
Thank you. The family's asked me to invite you all back to the Soldiers Club here in Goulburn for Big Al's last shout. This will continue the celebrations and watch this wonderful slideshow that's been prepared, and I'm sure there may be the odd glass raised to toast him. I'd now like to make a special reading on behalf of the family. When tomorrow starts without me. When tomorrow starts without me and I'm not there to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today while thinking of the many things we didn't get to say. I know how much you love me as much as I love you, and each time you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. So when tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart, for every time you think of me, I'm right here in your heart. I'd also like to thank the family for allowing us the honour to assist with this celebration of such a significant figure in all your lives. What a life, what a legacy. I mean, a true gentle man that was true to himself, always. And true to others, always. A man of reliability and strength that carried this aura with him. A man that called a spade and had the innate ability to bring the house down with his sense of humour. A hopeless romantic that every Friday night brought a red rose and a block of old gold chocolate for his Tess. He was the king of puns that could talk the leg off a chair, and a man that loved the odd beer and the sneaky slap on the pokies. He loved his seafood, his oysters and prawns. Well, of course he does. He brought up in Goulburn. And he really absorbed his darling Tess's Greek culture and love of Greek food, and as we heard, with this exaggerated love of halloumi cheese. And he did like the finer things in life as well. He loved Neil Diamond, the Beatles, funky town music, and he and Tess travelled extensively over the years, all over the globe. And it's also alleged that he did have a fantastic sense of humour, often stirring the grandchildren up, and had a fantastic Donald Duck impression as well. He was absolutely devoted to his darling Tess, and 6 months of his life sleeping on the hospital floor while she was ill. His devotion knew no bounds, and even though Tess passed some 20 years ago, he still yearned for her company and her companionship. Such was their love for each other. He loved his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren without condition. And he was extremely proud of every single family member. He even wore Crocs to Damien's wedding as he forgot his shoes, but it didn't faze him. He still turned up and was there for family. And I think the best way he was described to me was a loving, kind, gentle, genuine and respectful man that was the best he could be all the time. We will miss this lovable man that impacted so many lives, that brought so much joy to the world. We will shed tears because he is gone, but we can also be happy because he lives in our hearts. Our hearts can be empty because we can't see him, but they can also be full of the love that those memories bring us and the times we shared. Death leaves a heartache that no one can heal, but love leaves a memory no one can steal. Those we love don't go away. They walk beside us every day, unseen, unheard, but always near. So loved, so missed, so very dear. I'm just now going to present you with a toast, and I'll hand out some little sheepdog whiskies. Just one moment. So this is Big Al's favourite tipple, sheepdog peanut whiskey. I had to Google it as well, don't worry. Yeah, no, if you've got a nut allergy, please don't. Now you have your glasses charged. As we stand here farewelling Big Al, it's time to remember what he meant to you all. For some he was dad, for some he was granddad or great-granddad. For some he was a mate, a true friend. But to you, all he is, someone that you will miss greatly in your own special way. Here's to Big Al, the man, the memory, the legend, and the biggest stirrer ever. Al, we thank you for everything you were and all that you gave. And may you now forever rest in peace with the certain knowledge that you were, you are, and you always will be dearly loved and terribly missed. Your memory we treasure, loving you always and forgetting you never. You're probably sitting up there next to the true love of your life test and wondering what all this fuss is about. Well, Al, quite simply because you deserve it. Cheers, Big Al. May you now rest in peace. We'll do the release on the count of 3. Farewell to a beautiful person that left this world infinitely better. Tenderly and reverently we commit the body of Big Al. Now rest in peace, dear Al.
Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei